I've been asking these questions for a long time, and I ask about peace with Israelis. And the young people always say, no peace with Israelis. But the old people, sometimes they want peace with the Israelis. Why? Why is there a difference?
إله زمان بعمل يعني بسأل الناس في الشارع وبسألهم هيك مقابلات. عادة الشباب الجيل الأصغر بحكي لا بدناش سلام مع الإسرائيليين، والجيل الأكبر مرات بحكي بدنا سلام. ليش برأيك في هذا الاختلاف في الآراء ما بين الأجيال؟
مش عارف. بدها وقت تعطيك جواب.
I don't know. This needs time for me to think to give you an answer.
It's not simple. Not simple question.
Do you think young people? Do you think young people will?
All young people بيحكوا بدنا سلام.
بدناش.
الجيل الجديد بيقول بدناش سلام.
So the new generation says we don't want.
Yes, with Israel.
Because you see, it's many bad things the Israeli doing now, and all people suffering from many years, and so many things from the occupation, from the Israeli, from the bad things.
But the old people want peace.
What?
The old people want peace.
Want peace because they reach to point it's enough.
Oh, okay.
Understand?
Got it.
But the young people, what they see, I'm young people. I see many things is not good, making suffering from them occupations and martyrs every day, and taking the lands, and because I'm young, maybe when I be old people after 20, 30, 40 years, okay, it will be everything the same. So I will say I need peace. It's enough.
Okay.
Understand the idea?
Yeah.
It's like this.
احنا اجاباتنا لانه ما عشنا السلام، ما عندنا وطن، ما عندنا استقلاليه، ما عندنا حريه، حتى حريه التنقل مش موجوده عندنا. نحن لا نملك وطن.
We don't have a state, a homeland.
But you said before because they used to talk about peace.
برضو كمان ذكرتي انه من زمان كانوا يحكوا عن السلام.
كان في احلام انه يكون في سلام، كان في وعود كثير، كان في وعود بس كلها كانت كلام على ورق، مش موجودة على الأرض.
They are not, so it's not on the ground. It's not anything applied or realistic.
Okay. At the time, did she believe there could be peace with the Israelis?
وقتها هل كنت تآمني إنه ممكن يصير في سلام مع الإسرائيليين؟
شعارات.
They were all slogans.
When I ask older people about peace with Israel, they believe in peace. When I ask young people, they do not. Why?
I don't want to be interviewed.
Okay. So when I ask older people questions about making peace with Israel, older people are usually, okay, we'll do it, usually. Younger people, almost never.
Yes.
Why?
Because imagine someone coming into your home and then asking for having half of it. Would you give it?
So Israel, just Israel and the 67 borders you're talking about?
I'm talking about before everything, before 1948.
Before 1948.
If you look at the maps before 1948, it was the whole piece of land was Palestinian.
But the world recognizes Israel exists, and to the world, Palestine exists in the West Bank and Gaza.
Yes, that's for the world. But if you want to come to the history and what happened,
for you, I'm talking about you and what your friends think.
For me, I'm Palestinian. I'm 100% pro-Palestine. I'm 100% hating the idea of having a peace with a kind of terrorists who came and just got us out of our lands.
Even if it means, let's say, one state where Israelis and Palestinians live together.
Well, I don't trust Israelis, actually. I can't trust someone who pulled my grandfather, and that's a specific story. Someone who pulled my grandfather out of his house.
Where is his house?
It.
Where was his house?
Jaffa.
Where? Jaffa.
Yeah,
okay.
The main city.
So you won't, even a one-state solution,
No.
You will not live with them in any way?
Never. I won't trust that. We can't trust Israelis. Look at what's happening. Look at yesterday, what happened to this young man. The day before.
Hold on. Yesterday, let me explain. Yesterday, some Israeli teenagers beat up a Palestinian man who was about 53.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, and the day before, they were chasing a boy from Sirda. So yeah,
I don't know
it happens every day.
Okay. I often ask, you're translating this, I ask older people about making peace with Israel, and they give peaceful answers. Young people just want to destroy Israel. Why is that?
هلا له هو زمان بيقابل في الناس لما يسأل حدا أكبر بالعمر بحكي أنا بدي أعمل سلام مع إسرائيل، بس لما يسأل الشباب الأصغر بيقول لا بدنا نقضي على إسرائيل. ليش برأيك فيها التفاوت بين الإجابات؟ ليش الجيل الأكبر مستعد يعمل سلام وبس الجيل الأصغر مش مستعد؟
صراحة الجواب مش شايف في جواب منطقي يعني، لأنه استحالة إنه يكون كل الشباب الصغار يعني نفس التفكير ونفس الوقت متقدمين بالعمر إنه يكونوا برضه نفس التفكير. فراح يكون أكيد في بالشريحتين يعني، سواء الشبابية أو اللي هم الطبقة العمرية الأكبر شوي، إنه يكون في نفس
younger generation is against peace. So there has to be some of the older generation against peace and some of the younger generation with peace.
But there's more of the younger generation against peace. Why?
بس الجيل الأصغر ضد السلام. يعني أكثر يعني لما نسألهم نشوف إنه الجيل الأصغر هو
على الأغلب لأنه بيكونوا سمعوا من آبائهم ومن أجدادهم.
It's because they heard from their fathers and their grandparents.
إنه في سلام منذ عدة سنوات، إنه كانوا يحكوا عن السلام، وصار عدة اتفاقيات ولم يتم تطبيق أي اتفاقية.
They would hear from their fathers and their grandfathers that there was going to be peace, and there were many agreements, but then they just fell through and they failed.
يعني بصراحة يعني حسب نظري الشخصي، أنا حسب ما بشوف الناس يعني
according to my opinion
معظم الناس عندهم حالة استياء ومن موضوع عملية السلام أصلاً، بعتبروها عملية عقيمة
and they see it as a sterile operation
لأنها وصلت طريق مسدود
because it has reached a dead end.
وجميع جولات المفاوضات السابقة يعني منذ أكثر من 25 عام لم تؤدي إلى أي نتيجة على أرض الواقع.
Has not come to fruition on the ground.
وإنما بالعكس يعني عمالهم الأراضي الفلسطينية عم بتتهود.
On the contrary, the Palestinian lands are being taken by Israel, are being Judaized.
المناطق الفلسطينية عمالها اتقطع وصولها أصبحت عبارة عن كانتونات ومساحات جغرافية قصيرة جدا.
Have become separated and they've become like small cantons.
والمستوطنات عمالها بتبتلع جميع المناطق الفلسطينية.
And the settlements are now swallowing all the Palestinian areas.
So sometimes I ask older people a question about peace with Israel, and older people are more open to peace. Younger people less. Why? Why is that? People keep asking.
I don't really want to answer that, sorry.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been doing this for a long time, and I ask people about their views about Israel and about Palestine, and people who are older give me more peaceful answers. People who are young give me less peaceful answers. Why?
Well, I believe that probably because younger generations nowadays participate more in what's like every time Israelis come and attack us, usually young people go and attack them back.
Okay.
In order to defend.
Resistance.
Yeah, resistance, basically, yeah. So I believe that's why they are more violent than adult people.
Okay.
But for me, I usually don't participate in that. I prefer to be on the more peaceful side.
Okay.
So yeah.
So do you think your generation should be more peaceful? And why? If yes, why?
Well, it depends. I mean, I don't think they should be peaceful because, well, if somebody hurts you, you gotta hurt them back, right? Mm-hmm. Especially if they're taking your land or killing your family members. You have to kind of like put your anger on them.
Yeah, but then where does it end?
Well,
so they hurt you, you hurt them, they hurt you back, you hurt them back.
This keeps going
it goes on forever.
Yeah, basically. I don't think there's gonna be a solution at this point. I don't know, it's kind of complicated, but that's how I see it. I don't think, well, if the other side becomes more peaceful, then probably you can come to an end point or something.
So I do this a lot, and when I ask older people, they give answers about peace with Israel, but younger people don't. Why does she think that is?
هلا هو له سنين عم بيقابل في الناس في الشارع وعم بيحكي مع الناس سنين. لما يحكي مع الجيل الأكبر بيحكي إنه بدنا سلام مع إسرائيل. لما يحكي مع الجيل الأصغر بيحكوا لا بدناش سلام مع إسرائيل.
طبعا بدنا سلام مع إسرائيل.
Of course we don't want peace with Israel.
Why?
احكي لي
لأنه
ليش.
بدنا تكون فلسطين حرة، لأنه إسرائيل قاعدة بتاخذ كل أراضي فلسطين، تحتل كل أراضي فلسطين، بتستوطن أراضي فلسطين، وهي قاعدة بتاخذ بأبناء فلسطين، يعني شو ضل بدها؟
Because Israel is taking all of our lands, all of our children, they stole everything, they're occupying, settling, colonizing. What's left?
Why do some of the older people do? They want peace.
طيب برأيك ليش الجيل الأكبر بدهم سلام؟
لأنه فلسطين دائما حرة، وإن شاء الله بتضل حرة وبتصير حرة. بدنا إياها لأنها ملكنا مش ملكهم.
كيف؟ الجيل الأكبر منك الختايلة ليش بدهم سلام؟ ليش عم بيحكوا إحنا مستعدين نعمل سلام مع إسرائيل؟
ليش بدهم؟
So why does
يمكن
the
إنهم
older generation want peace?
يمكن ملوا من
So she understood the question now. She's saying perhaps because they're fed up with the situation. They want peace.
بس بالعكس يمكن لو تشوفي
On the
الكبار
contrary,
يمكن ما بدهم السلام مع إسرائيل، بدهم تضل فلسطين حرة.
a lot of elderly or the older generation don't want peace with Israel. They want a free Palestine.
Okay. Do you think you'll win? You'll get all of Palestine?
هل برأيك رح نسترجع كل فلسطين؟
إن شاء الله أكيد متأكدة أنا إن شاء الله، لأنه هذا ورد
God
بالقرآن.
willing, I am sure this is something that has been mentioned in the Quran.